When Erica and I realized that we were going to try and continue to run our missional gap year program, Agape Year, in the midst of COVID, we had just a ton of fears. Would fellows come? Where would we volunteer? As missionaries dependent on the financial support of our senders, what will happen to our support during this recession? And where will our fellows live?
You see, for the past 3 years, young people have been coming to Pittsburgh to see God's kingdom come. They come to Pittsburgh to feel the church in action, to get to see the body that they're a part of, and they receive hospitality from the host families that they live with. God has provided four fellows this year, our biggest cohort yet, which is a huge answer to prayer, and we're so grateful. But as we prepared for this year, we knew that we were going to need to find host families. Our fellows live with these host families for about 8 months while they are here in Pittsburgh. And each year, it is one of the most meaningful and impactful parts of the Fellows Year. But finding host families in the midst of a pandemic, finding people willing to open their doors, that was going to be a tall order.
We're friends with a young couple that lives down the street from us. And after praying about it, Erica and I decided to consider asking them. We were friends, but maybe we weren't quite that good of friends. But we decided, you know what? What's the worst thing they can do? Say no. So it seemed like the faithful thing to do. So we went ahead and sent an inquiring email. And then we waited.
And waited. Not that long. But a few days later, the husband called. They were in. They wanted to host. But more than that, it was an answer to their prayer. Adam laughed as he told us about how they had planned to host a young person that past summer for a different program. He said that they had been preparing the room, getting things ready, and their hearts were excited about extending hospitality in this way. And they had been so sad when the program had been canceled and they had been unable to respond to that call to hospitality. Then we emailed, and what had felt like a stretch for us was in fact something that God had been preparing this couple to respond to. God had opened the door, and God provided.
So this year, more than any other, we see God's provision in our lives. He's provided an abundance of fellows, and He's provided housing for that abundance of fellows. And He sustained our support through a tough financial time for a lot of our supporters. One of our consistent prayers during COVID has been that we would have eyes to see and ears to hear how God is providing for us in this season of extreme uncertainty. And thanks be to God, He's answered that prayer.
And thanks be to God for you, brothers and sisters of St. Stephen's.